Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lunch Hour Sports Podcast with your hosts, Jacob Smedley,
Sam Betts,
Justin Reedhammer,
and Peter Almirante.
Today, our episode includes the NBA regular season along with an update on Zion Williamson's anticipated debut, along with the NFL Playoff Recap, AFC and NFC. Now, here's Sam Betts with a current recap of the NBA landscape.
Hello, everyone. Today we will be discussing the top 5 teams in both the Eastern and Western conferences. For the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks are making their case as the best team in the NBA as they have the best record overall at 39-6, and they are in front by 8 games. The teams fighting for spots 2 through 5 are pretty evenly matched as the second place Miami Heat hold their spot only 2.5 games in front of the 5th place Indiana Pacers. The 4th place Celtics and the 3rd place defending NBA champion Toronto Raptors round out the top teams in the East.
Whoa, hold up, Sam. Before you go to the Western Conference,
Zion Williamson. Stop. Zion Williamson. Did you see his game last night?
Oh, of course saw that.
His NFL, his NBA
That was crazy.
debut.
22 points.
Monstrous.
Hey, listen to the stat line. Listen to the stat line. 18 minutes. So he was on limited minutes just because of his injury. After his right torn meniscus, he had surgery. Comes back, he's going to be on limited minutes. 18 minutes, 22 points.
Yeah.
He only missed 3 shots from the field.
Yeah, he was the second leading scorer. He actually tied Brandon Ingram with 22 points. He was 8 for 11.
But he wasn't pressured when he was undercovered.
Definitely not.
If he was under the basket and there were guys on him, he had no problem getting out of that and making a basket.
He bullied Jakob Poeltl under there to get his first basket, to get his first layup.
Yep.
He also went 4 for 4 from the 3-point line.
Heck of a game.
That's
Heck
crazy.
Of a game
and Zion hasn't been known as a very good shooter, even in college.
Excellent. He had a couple good 3-point shots, a couple good in the field shots, but his layups under coverage was great.
Definitely.
They were great.
I mean, like, the man can make a layup look like a monstrous dunk. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Just the way he moves on the court.
Exactly.
Also, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. No blocks, no steals. But, hey, I mean, that's a pretty good debut, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Now, I guess we go move on to the Western Conference as we started off. The Los Angeles Lakers are at the top with 35-9 as their record. The top seed isn't really as solidified as it is in the East. The second place, Denver Nuggets. The third place, Utah Jazz. And the 4th place, Los Angeles Clippers, are only behind by 4 games. They're slowly catching up to the Lakers, but you still have 5th place Dallas as they trail behind by 6.5 games.
Sam, who do you think out of the Western Conference right now? You got the Lakers, the Clippers, the Rockets. Which team is your favorite to go to the finals at this point?
I don't know, man. I mean, the Los Angeles Lakers obviously at the top spot. They have LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Those are 2 of the most dominant players in the NBA as we speak. But you did say the Rockets, and I like how you mentioned that. James Harden is the leading scorer in the NBA right now. And along with Russell Westbrook, he could definitely take that team to the finals or even a deep playoff run as well.
Thank you, Sam. So now we'll move on to the NFL playoff run. So over the past 3 weeks, the NFL has been in full playoff swing, with a slew of upsets and heated battles already decided.
Not normal playoffs. Interesting underdog story playoffs.
It was interesting, yeah. There were many games that you just did not see coming.
Exactly.
So as we discussed, we're going to go through the AFC, then NFC next. So starting off with the AFC, we had, in the wildcard round, we had the Bills taking on the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans taking on the New England Patriots. And in both of those matchups, we had great games going the whole way. In the Bills game, the Bills ended up being defeated in overtime in a very thrilling game to the Houston Texans by just a field goal.
They had the lead. The Bills had the lead.
16-0.
Yes.
For the longest time, the Bills had the lead, and then all of a sudden, here come the Texans sneaking on up.
Deshaun Watson. He's going to be something special.
You think he's a game changer? You think he's a game changer?
He is.
Yes. He played a very good game. I think both teams played very well. The Bills' first half defense was unstoppable. They played amazing first half.
Where do you think the Bills went? Like, where was their biggest flaw?
Their biggest flaw, I would have to say, was the offense. In the third and fourth quarter, they did not put up enough points. That's just the truth. In the fourth quarter, they only put up 3, and in the third quarter, they only put up 3 as well.
So you'd say that the Texans had a really good defense then. They just kept pressuring them. Did they pressure the quarterback a lot? Was there a lot of coverage?
That was actually the spark that ignited
Josh Allen,
the sack on Josh Allen. And then moving on to the Titans game.
Heck of an upset. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep. New England Patriots, who were the 3rd seed, ended up falling to the 6th seed of the Tennessee Titans, who ended up moving on.
No one saw the Tennessee Titans in the beginning of the season go into the playoffs.
Well, all it was really was Derrick Henry. I mean, let's be real. This guy was a monster.
Guys, hold on a second. This would have never happened without Ryan Fitzmagic and the Dolphins going into Foxborough and winning Week 17.
That was
it
a
was
very
the Titans
exciting game.
Chiefs in the first round.
Kudos to the Dolphins to beating the Patriots so that the Patriots did not have a first-round bye. But Justin's got a point. Derrick Henry is an unstoppable running back.
The guy is insane. He put up 182 yards against those Patriots, which is incredible. Against the number 1 defense, incredible.
Yeah.
And I mean,
they pressured Tom Brady on offense.
The best part was they didn't even need their quarterback Ryan Tannehill to do well. He only passed for 72 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
No, but when when Ryan Tannehill needed to pass, the Patriots defense wasn't able to push past the O-line quick enough to prevent those passes. I give Ryan Tannehill a lot of credit.
Yes, I do the same. And then we'll move on to the divisional round, where we had the Tennessee Titans, facing off against the Baltimore Ravens, and we also had the Texans facing off against the Chiefs. Now, these were some really good games. Going into the Baltimore Ravens game, the number 1 seed going against the 6th seed, this one's obvious, right? No.
Not happening.
Not when Derrick Henry is there.
Not 1 upset from the Tennessee Titans, but 2 upsets from the Tennessee Titans.
This one even more impressive, I'd say, than the last.
That's true.
Derrick Henry was unstoppable in this game as well, putting up 195 to Ryan Tannehill's 88 passing yards. So really, they didn't need Tannehill for this game much at all. I mean, even Derrick Henry threw a touchdown pass.
That was good. So, tell us about the next game. So we already know that the Tennessee Titans were full steam ahead going to the playoffs.
Yes, they were.
What happened on the other side of things?
Well, on the other side, the Kansas City Chiefs ended up going down in the first quarter to the Houston Texans, but quickly rallied in the second and ended up beating them by 20. The Titans and the Chiefs faced off, and Mahomes was just unstoppable.
He was.
It's hard to stop that.
And I give Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans credit because they just full-blown tried their best against the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense did their absolute best to contain Derrick Henry, which was smart, but Patrick Mahomes just went off.
It was too much. It was too much.
The defense I had to give credit to as well, because Derrick Henry was only held to 69 yards, and they actually
which is his shortest in the playoff
They forced Ryan Tannehill to become a quarterback and throw for 209 passing yards.
But he still did good as a quarterback.
And he did well. He did well, but they ended up losing because he had to play quarterback in this game.
Exactly, and the offensive weapons that Patrick Mahomes had was too much for that Titans defense to stop.
Yes, Tyreek Hill was just an unstoppable machine. Sammy Watkins played well, 7 receptions, 142 and a touchdown. And now we're going to move on to our interview with today's special guest.
I'm here with the man behind the maps, Mr. Pegg. All right, so Mr. Pegg, what are your thoughts on the 2019-2020 NFL season?
I think it was a terrible season because the Redskins were out of the playoffs after Game 1.
How do you feel about the past few playoff games, like the upsets and other things that happened in the previous weeks?
I think the playoff season has been pretty interesting, pretty exciting. Seeing some new teams in there and some upsets is always good for the NFL.
So what do you think caused some of the higher-seeded teams in the AFC especially to be upset?
So the Titans overcoming the Patriots, I think the cause of that was the Patriots don't really have any outside threats at wide receiver. And for Baltimore, I'm not a real big fan of Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's as good as what others think.
All right, and last question is, for the Super Bowl 54, Chiefs and 49ers, what's your prediction? What's the score prediction?
My prediction is Chiefs over the Niners, 35-24.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, guys, so what do you think about the interview with Mr. Pegg?
I don't totally agree with him saying Lamar Jackson isn't that good. What do you think about that, Sam?
I don't know. When I heard him say that, I thought Wow, I mean, a lot of people really like Lamar Jackson, and he has the talent to be one of those big starting quarterbacks.
He has the talent, but does he have the experience?
That's true. But I think as he continues to play and as he gets older, I think that experience will come. And I think he's going to be one of the most dominant quarterbacks in the NFL at some point.
Fair enough.
About those Redskins.
The Redskins, they're not in the playoffs. That sucks to be them.
Yeah, that's tough.
But they're rebuilding. They're rebuilding.
Yeah.
They're in that
Chase
stage.
Young. Chase Young's they got to get him.
The Redskins are in the rebuilding stage, which
Yeah.
they need to be in. All teams need to have that at some point in time.
That's true. That's true.
But what he said about the Patriots wide receivers, what do you think?
I think he's right. I definitely
I
think
would
he's
agree
right
with you.
about that.
I would agree with you.
I think it's more so on the talent of the wide receivers than it was on Tom Brady. I think that if there were more talented wide receivers, and of course, definitely Gronk played a factor as well. When you have those talented
But not
receivers,
this year.
it makes his life as a quarterback really easy to be able to drop it off to those.
But this year was
talented-
tougher
yes,
because he didn't have the receivers that he did. And his Super Bowl prediction, he predicts the Chiefs over the Niners. We'll see what happens with
I
that.
don't know about that. I'm still going with the 49ers.
I am
Come
too.
on, the
I'm still-
Chiefs have this.
I'm still
You
sticking-
gotta tell me
No.
that the 49ers defense is gonna stop Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Yes.
The
and I
best
think-
quarterback in the game.
And I think
Oh,
wow.
Jimmy Garoppolo is also
Oh,
going to
man.
pull off some
He's
really
gonna
good
go off.
touchdowns.
He's gonna
You
go
got a
off.
screw in your head.
All right,
Sam.
guys, we'll see later. All right, guys, so we're going to see what's going to happen, and we're going to go talk about the NFC next. After that exclusive interview, let's talk a little bit about the NFC. So the NFC playoffs were not as underdog surprising as the AFC, but there were some interesting games, like the
certainly,
Vikings and the Saints. The Vikings won in overtime, 26-20, and they contained Drew Brees to not make monstrous plays with the arm that he has, but that was an absolute push at the very end of the game, and that should have been called and turned around, and I think that could have changed the game.
You can't really say that should have been called. I mean, that's one of those plays that they.
It's a
sometimes-
bang-bang
Yeah,
play.
It's one of those
It's
plays that when
bang-bang.
they
It's
say
Guys
sometimes-
push off all
No,
the
but
time.
they sometimes
Guys push
call
off
that.
all the
But
time.
But you
sometimes
remember,
don't,
but if
like-
you remember, the Saints, the reason last year why they took a closer look this season with the pass interference was because of the Saints game last year. And guess what?
Yeah,
the same thing
all right,
happened
the
again.
Saints got screwed last year, but this year
And they
it's-
got screwed again.
No, they didn't get screwed this year.
Yes, they did.
Just,
That was
they
a
got
clear
beat by
push.
That
a
should
team.
have never
By
got
Rudolph.
to that
Yeah, it
point.
shouldn't have gone
But
that
the Vikings held Drew Brees. That's how the Vikings defense blitzed Drew Brees so many times that he could
And
not.
they held
the
Alvin
pre-
Kamara, the running
pressure,
back,
the
in check
pressure
as
on
well.
Drew Brees was impressive. This game, the Vikings defense, they really held up against the Saints. I
They
believe.
did. I give the Vikings credit. They played a good game. Saints had a good run. They did their best. So wild card weekend, part 2, the Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks face off again. Now it kind of ended the same way as the Eagles met the Seahawks before with a 17-9 loss for the Eagles, but Josh McCown comes in for the Eagles after Wentz's head injury. He's a 40-year-old, hadn't taken a snap in 5 months, and he played a heck of a game because he had a torn hamstring. He still ran with the ball. He still threw the ball the best he could. And I give the Eagles a lot of credit for playing with the position that they were in.
Yeah, what do you think about that hit on Carson Wentz?
That was targeting and a head-to-head hit, and he should have been flagged, penalized, whatever
Yeah,
you want to say.
I believe that there
he
should have been a
not
fine.
have been. He should not have been not penalized for that. That was a
He's
clear.
saying that
that's
was
a clear
a
targeting
clean
hit.
hit.
That's
That was
not
a
a
clean
clean
hit.
hit.
Did you see the hit on Lamar Jackson and
Yes,
the
I saw the hit on
AFC
Lamar
game?
Jackson.
The
But-
Titans, he stayed in the game. He was
He
fine.
came in.
Yeah,
The
Carson
defender
Wentz
came in.
is injury prone. He
That's
can't
true.
stay
That is-
on
he
the
may be injury
field.
prone, but Carson Wentz was sliding on the ground with already another defender on him. As soon as he comes in with his head, leading with his head
It was
first.
momentum. He was
It
doing
not
that
much.
before he was
He
going
could
to
have
the
easily
ground.
gotten away from Carson Wentz.
I
Easily
don't-
gotten away from Carson Wentz. That's a ridiculous injury. Moving on to another round of the playoffs. San Francisco 49ers face the Minnesota Vikings moving up from the Saints,
One
right?
seed and the 16. Yep.
So they're battling for a spot in the NFC Championship, right? So you think that, the Vikings, they coming off with a lot of hope. They beat the Saints. Their pride's up.
Yep.
Well,
they just saw the Tennessee Titans end up beating the Baltimore Ravens. Like that hypes
they
you
did.
up, you know.
That does hype you up for the underdogs, but they do not realize that they're matching up against the 14-3 49ers, the red hot San Francisco 49ers. And guess what? The Vikings' dream of a championship spot was crushed in a game with a loss of a score of 27-10.
Yeah, it was a very sad
Jimmy
game.
G had a good game.
The
Jimmy G had a good
Niners
game.
played very well in that game.
Especially defensively.
I honestly think that it should have been the Saints in that game. They might have been able to do
That's
something better.
exactly what I was
It
going to
should've
say.
been-
Do you think the Saints
Yes.
could have beaten them if they
Yes.
beat the Vikings?
I say yes. I
Yes.
say yes. I say the Saints could have beaten the 49ers if the Vikings would have won.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe you.
I say yes. What do you say, Sam?
What do you say, Sam? You think the Saints going to tell you now?
Okay,
the
so Justin
49ers?
and I say yes. Jacob says no.
I mean,
What do you say?
Jimmy Garoppolo is finally coming into his own after like being the backup for Tom Brady for so long, and now he has his own team and he's leading them to a championship right here, almost pretty close. So I think.
But Drew Brees is a veteran. He has been here.
Yeah,
he's-
He's been on the action field for so long.
That's true,
With
that's
more
true.
experience than Jimmy G.
But sometimes the veteran is going to be dethroned by the young gun, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo would have done that.
You might be right. You might be right. Well, Green Bay played their first game in the playoffs of the 2019-2020 season against the Seattle Seahawks, who won against the Eagles. In a close game, the Packers conquered the Seahawks with a victory to earn a spot in the championship game. Seattle's playoff run ended with a loss against the Packers, which I kind of saw coming. I thought the Packers would have won anyway. Devontae Adams had a heck of a game. Aaron Rodgers did really well with the ball.
And made the big throws when he needed
Yeah.
to. Late in the
Exactly.
game
He
that
did,
we've
he
seen
did.
so many
Exactly.
times.
He
over
did.
the
He
Aaron
came in
years.
Rodgers.
clutch. Very,
If
very
Aaron
good, yes.
Rodgers has a spot to throw the ball and he has an open man, that ball is going to connect. Definitely. So, unfortunately for the Seahawks, their playoff run ended, and the Seattle Seahawks are over. But the Green Bay Packers are going to meet the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship, which was a huge, mind-boggling game. In Santa Clara, Jimmy G led the 49ers against Aaron Rodgers with the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers dominated on both sides of the field. I'm talking Jimmy G threw the ball. The offense just ran all over the Green Bay's defense.
Their run offense was
Green
very
Bay's
impressive.
offense looked
Yes.
like the Miami Dolphins offense in that
Yeah,
game. They were
all four of us,
terrible.
we could have ran that
They were
offense
terrible.
back.
We could have done it better. Yeah.
Green Bay looked like toddlers playing football for the first time.
Aaron
Rodgers couldn't hold the ball.
He was not himself.
He was
No,
not
he
himself
wasn't.
at all. He couldn't hold the ball. None of his monstrous passes were connecting. Devontae Adams wasn't running like he usually does. Where the 49ers had a field day with them. Where Green Bay's mind went, I have no idea. But congratulations to the 49ers.
And now it's prediction time. Super Bowl. What do you guys think? Sam,
Super Bowl 54,
you're
Kansas
first.
City
I don't know,
and,
man.
and the 49ers.
You have Patrick Mahomes, you have Jimmy Garoppolo, you have really good offenses on both sides. It's definitely going to be an offensive match when looking to go into the Super Bowl.
Who do you think has the upside?
I got to go with Jimmy G again, man.
Oh,
I'm going with
I see.
Garoppolo.
That's where you're right.
49ers.
That is where you're right. I say Jimmy G leads the San Francisco 49ers.
Hey, that is my catchphrase.
I don't
That
care.
is
I
where
used
you're
it.
wrong.
I used
Sam.
it. No,
Chiefs.
you're wrong.
Chiefs.
I have
will
to-
win.
No.
Patrick
No.
Mahomes.
I have to agree
Unstoppable.
with
So-
Jacob. The Chiefs will get this one done. Their
I don't think
offense
so.
is
I
unstoppable. If
don't
this is an
think so.
offensive battle, I think their
I
offense is
don't think so.
unstoppable.
But think about this. San Francisco played against very good offenses all season. Their defense is so set on stopping good offenses. This is gonna happen. San Francisco's gonna win by at least a touchdown.
All right, yeah, I like
Jimmy
that.
G-
At least a
All right.
touchdown.
Yes,
Are you
at least a
serious?
touchdown. I'm
You
serious.
know.
I think we can both agree that this is going to be more exciting than the last Super
Oh,
Bowl.
yes. This is going to be a very exciting, close Super Bowl. And I think that in the final quarter, Patrick Mahomes brings it home, scores at least 2 touchdowns, and
All right,
ends up
guys.
winning the game.
Well, I guess we'll see about the Super Bowl, and it's going to be a great one. All right, guys. So it's going to be a good Super Bowl.
That concludes this week's episode of the Lunch Hour Podcast. You can find future episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for the next Lunch Hour Podcast episode.